Hi everybody, welcome. My name is Cassie of CassMorganKnits. This is a knitting podcast where I will share with you what I'm wearing, finished objects, what I'm working on, and what I would like to be working on in the not so distant future. Today's episode is going to be a recap of everything that I've made in 2025. Admittedly, 2025 was a slower knitting year for me. I've definitely gotten more of my knitting mojo back in the later half of the year. But I am pretty proud of what I've got to share with you all. And then I'll probably talk a little bit about what I would like to work on, or some of my knitting goals for 2026. So let's go ahead and get started. First off, what I am wearing. This is the Alma Pullover by Nordlund. This is made in Sandnes Garn Kos, which is, I believe, what the pattern was, the recommended yarn for the pattern. I completed this, I think, last fall. Very, very cozy. It's snowing here today, or it snowed overnight. Here, I'm based out of northern New Jersey. So nice, cozy day over here. All right, let's get into it. Let's see, I have my little laptop and notes over here, so I'm gonna go back and forth. But very first finished object, I'm gonna go in chronological order. First finished object of the year was the Waffle Ridge scarf by Neilan. This was my first test knit of the year. Really, really fun, really pretty textured pattern. I started this on January 20th and finished it up February 10th. This is made in 3 different colors of lamb and vine. They're UNDK. So this mustardy color is Golden Hour. This green is called Grenouille. And this really pretty periwinkle color is Water Iris. Yeah, this is, I think, kind of a take on the thinner scarves that have been very, very popular recently. I like this one that it's thin but longer, so it's not super overwhelming, if that makes sense. I get overstimulated, I guess, if I have too much going on around my neck. So this is a nice lighter layer where I don't feel like I'm suffocating. So it's definitely gotten a ton of wear this fall and winter. And used stash yarn for this. This was another goal of mine for this year, was to really continue to use from my stash. I think that's going to be a forever goal. As much as I love getting new yarn and buying new yarn, and that's certainly still going to happen, I'm trying to be very intentional about using stuff from my stash. And even signing up for test knits, I'll only try and sign up for them if I have the yarn in stash. I don't really want to be buying new yarn for test knits. So yeah, another goal for this year that will likely continue for the foreseeable future as I continue to work down my stash. All right, that is the Waffle Ridge scarf. Next up, I have my first finished garment of the year, which was my UN sweater. This is one that I had started think January of 2024. So this was a very long whip. It sat in hibernation for quite some time. I remember starting this, I think it was like the day I got COVID in 2024. So this was kind of my like New Year's Day cast on. Worked on it for a bit when I was sick, and then I put it down for a really, really long time. And then I think I was watching Mackenzie of M to the third. And they had worked on a really beautiful Ewan in this like blood orange color. And I just loved how it looked on them. And I was very inspired to finish this. So I did. So this is my Ewan sweater. I made a size 4 and I held some Sandnes Garn Mohair, just like a regular white color. That's kind of what you kind of see coming through. And then I held Woolberry Fiber Coast Berry DK in the color Nutmeg. I finished this September 13th of this year. And it's already gotten tons and tons of wear. I really, really love this pattern and how it came out. The fit is really, really nice. The sleeves are great. I really like the length. I think I did it a little bit longer, if I remember, just to kind of get a little bit more coverage. It's definitely, I think because of the mohair, it can be a little scratchy. This is one of those garments where I was like, I might be a little sensitive to mohair. So I definitely have to wear a garment underneath it. And it's, because of the mohair, it is very warm. So it has to be a pretty cold day to wear it. But I love it. I can wear it, you know, over jeans. It looks really nice with some like off-white jeans that I have for a nice kind of winter neutral moment, if you will. Or even like over leggings if I'm just wanting to run around and run out but have a nice cozy knit on. Yeah, so this is my Ewan sweater. All right, my next finished object. This is one that took far too long to finish, and it's probably my most worn finished object this year. I wear it, I don't know, almost every day, it feels like. But this is the 2x2 by Anne Gagnon. I believe this is a free pattern on Ravelry. I'm calling it my confetti tweed beanie. I love it so much. It's so nice and cozy. I think I was inspired by like the Grocery Girls. They've been doing tons of projects with like adding a little bit of sparkle or like a little bit of this confetti yarn. And I was like, I want to do the same thing. So I had one of a kind skein from Plucky Knitter, which is like the main like neutral color here. It was just like a one-hit wonder color in their Oxford fingering weight. So I held that double with a strand of the Rico design Make It Tweed confetti, multicolor like confetti lace weight yarn. And I love it so much. And it's also nice and warm. It's probably like my warmest hat, which makes me want to make more hats in a natural fiber, because I think I've used a lot of like superwash to make hats, which is great, but they're not super warm. So all that's being said, I absolutely love this, how it has turned out. I love all the fun specks of colors. And I used like the entire skein up for this, of the Plucky Knitter yarn. I used the whole skein as much as I could. And I still have quite a bit, I think, of the confetti yarn. So I'll have to figure out something else fun to do with that. But I started this in February and did not finish it until September 24th. I don't know why I put it down because it was so much fun to work on. And I think once I picked it up again, I must have finished it in, I don't know, a week or so. And this 2x2 pattern, I really, really love. I think the first time I used this pattern was maybe a year or two ago. I made my brother a hat for Christmas, and I love the look of 2x2 rib. And I just thought like the decreases on here were just really, really, really nice. So I've made that pattern quite a few times actually, or a variation of it quite a few times. So I think I've made, you'll see it again, like a Noro hat or, you know, a version of that. I think I made my nephew a hat with that pattern too. So it's kind of become one of like my go-tos for a basic ribbed hat. So I'm sure I will make many other iterations of that because it's just such an easy pattern to play around with. Okay, next sweater is the Rhinebeck sweater, or the Ooey Gooey. So I started this probably like a week or two after it came out, August 1st. So it usually comes out middle of July, I think, is what Andrea Mowry releases her Rhinebeck sweater pattern every year. And this is one, it was a combo of stash yarn and then new yarn. This main color, the rusty color, this rusty orange, that is Juniper Moon Farm, their organic merino in the color cinnamon. And it was so nice to work with. And it's one of those yarns that you can kind of felt together, so very few ends at the end, which was lovely. And then I had a different Spincycle in mind. I think it's Verbena or something like that. It's like a pastel-y, peachy, pinky orange color for the Spincycle like colorwork section. And then I was at the local yarn store, which is actually a local yarn store. That's the name of it. It's about 20 minutes from me in West Orange, New Jersey. And they have a really great selection of Spincycle. And so I brought a skein of the Patagonia or the Juniper Moon with me. And I saw this really beautiful, like tealy blue, I don't know what you would call it exactly. But I saw them together and I was like, oh yeah, I think that's the combo that I want. I didn't want something, I liked that it was still Spincycle, but it was more tonal. Like there's definitely like some color shifting happening. I think you can see like in the neckline, a little bit in the yoke, and then a little bit down here on the sleeves as well. But I love that overall it gave very much like a tonal look to it. And this color is Lithe, is the Spincycle dyed in the wool color. I really loved making this pattern. It was literally days before Rhinebeck when I finished it. It was October 15th. I think my mom and I drove up October 16th, like the next day. And as soon as we got to our Airbnb, I like immediately blocked the sweater and put it on blocking mats so that it had like a day and a half, 2 days to block before I could wear it on Saturday on the hill. Some of my modifications for this, I definitely knit the body longer. I know a lot of Andrea's patterns can be pretty cropped, which, you know, time and place for that. But this one I knew I wanted to be more for like a proper fitting sweater. So I knit the body to 10 inches before moving on to the ribbing, which I think is about 2.5 inches. I definitely picked up extra stitches in the arms, which I usually do. I have a bigger like bicep arm, upper arm. So I always generally pick up more stitches than whatever it says in the pattern. And I didn't follow the decreases, which I kind of wish I would have, but I did. It's kind of like this fun little like balloon sleeve. Sorry for all the wrinkles. It's been folded up in my little storage closet. But yeah, I didn't follow the decreases. I don't know why. I think I wasn't sure. I think when I've done some of her patterns in the past, the arms are like a little bit tight. So I just wanted to do very few decreases. And then I did a few like rapid decreases right before the ribbing. So you can kind of see like right here is when I did, I think, some back-to-back rows of rapid decreases to kind of give it that like balloon sleeve fit to cinch it in around the wrists. But yeah, overall, very, very happy with this. I think welts are something that I have done in the past on another sweater. I've done color work before, but I think this is actually my first like finished color work garment, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I'm really, really pleased with it. I know that I made some mistakes somewhere on like, I think these little dots in the motif. I think some of them are like a little off kiltered, but I couldn't be bothered. Oh no, it's up here. Yeah, the very, very top of the motif, but I was not going to rip back because I did not want to do the welts all over again. And it's honestly, no one's going to notice. I know it's there. It's just my little, my little addition to the pattern. Yeah, that is my Ooey Gooey sweater by Andrea Mowry. Next up, we have another test knit. This is, sorry, I thought I had like a stain on there, but it's just the yarn. This is the Avenue Pullover by Tori Yu. This was a test knit for her. I started this on October 5th and completed it November 23rd. I did this in a size 6, and this I definitely followed the pattern pretty closely. Generally, whenever I'm doing a test knit, I really try and follow the pattern as it is written and not make any modifications, because I think that's kind of the intent of testing a pattern. If anything, I might make the body a little bit longer, but I don't think that's really changing the integrity of the pattern a ton. So with this one, I think I made it to like 13 inches before I started the ribbing, which is, I don't remember honestly how long she has it being knit for, but I feel like generally, if I don't want a cropped sweater, I want the body to be like 14 inches. And as you can see, the ribbing is pretty small. Like, it's not a ton of ribbing. So I knit to 13 inches before I started the few rows of ribbing on the bottom hem. I picked up additional stitches here for the underarm as well, just 8 stitches. And then I think I did the decreases not as quickly, just again, because of my arms. I don't want them to be I don't want sleeves to be really tight. So those were the only like modifications that I really made to this. The yarn is 2 different yarns held together. Explorer Knits and Fibers. It's one of Allie's like Leave No Trace yarn collection, or yeah, releases that they have them usually maybe like once or twice a year. I think I got this yarn last year, and the colorway is Smog, but it's basically the sister of like their Air colorway, which is this really pretty like purpley gray creamy color. A little bit of green in there too. And I held it with a strand of Knitting for Olive Merino in the color Pearl Gray to get that DK weight. Again, really, really love it. This has also gotten a ton of wear already. This is my first V-neck, which was not nearly as hard as I thought it would be. And yeah, I love the fit of this. What size did I make? Yeah, I made a size 6 for this, which is the finished chest measurement is 54 inches, which is more ease than I usually have on a sweater. I have a 48-inch chest measurement, like full bust measurement. And so that gave me, 6 inches-ish of positive ease, which is definitely a lot more than I usually do, but I actually love this because it gives me kind of like a cozy sweatshirt vibe. So yeah, that is my Avenue pullover by Tori Yu. All right, next up, just a few more objects, 2 more hats and 1 more garment. This is another 2x2 beanie. This is it's definitely modified. I don't think the decreases lined up perfectly on this one because I knew I wanted to do 2x2, but I think I cast on the wrong number and then I just kind of fudged it on the decreases, but it's fine. Again, nobody knows except for me. This was inspired by Rachel from Table 10, the Table 10 podcast. It's her and her sister have a podcast that they do together. They're based out of Pittsburgh. I grew up in Pittsburgh, so it's like a fun little connection. It's fun to see folks talk about, the knitting community in Pittsburgh. But yeah, she talked about just kind of like needing to get something quick off the needles, and she like knit like a 2x2 ribbed hat one evening in like a nice bulky weight yarn and just like scratched that itch of just like, I need to finish something. I need to like feel accomplished. And I was having a similar feeling. So I was kind of looking at my yarn stash, which is like over here. I have like a cabinet of yarn. It's not my entire stash, but a portion of it. And I have a few skeins of the Nori Ito. And it was just kind of, it's been staring at me. So I decided to finally just pick one of the skeins that I had, or really cakes, not skeins. They're like pretty big. And just cast on. So that's what we've got here. This is color 17, which is Nakatsu, Nakatsu. And yeah, really, really fun colors here. It's definitely, even though it's kind of a thinner fabric because it's like 100% wool, it's quite warm, which is nice for it's not, like I don't get overheated in it because it's thinner, but it still keeps me very, very warm. Whereas my other 2x2, like sometimes I get a little overheated in it because it's thick. But this is nice, a nice like thin layer that even if it's like 20 degrees out, I can wear it and I know I'm gonna still be warm. I love the colors in this. It's just fun. I have like a purple puffer coat, and then I have like a brown coat that I wear, so it looks really nice with both of those actually. And this was one that I finished in like a couple of days. I started it, I think the week of Thanksgiving, November 22nd, and then I finished it the 28th. So it definitely scratched the quick knit itch for me. All right, we've got, I think just 2 more. Oh no, 3 more. One of them I do not have with me because it was a gift knit. All right, next up is my last test knit from this year. This knit up so quickly. This is a test knit that I did for Tracy Miller from Grocery Girls. This is her Wild Rose hat pattern that she released, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago, right before the holidays. And this is in addition to, she kind of has a series of patterns with this wild rose motif. I think the wild rose is like the flower of Canada, I think. So this was the latest addition to that series of patterns. And yeah, so this color might look familiar, this main color. This is Nutmeg, which is the same color I used in my Ewan sweater. And then the flower motif is the leftover Explorer Knits and Fibers that I used in my Avenue pullover. So we're using stash, guys. Yeah, so this one, I think I knit this up in 2 days. I started it December 11th, finished it December 13th. You don't need a ton of yarn for these. Cute little slouchy hat. I know a lot of the testers put like a little pom-pom on the end. I'm not a big pom-pom person, but it does look really cute. The folks who did add that. But yeah, it's like a really pretty, like feminine pattern. I think a Spincycle in the main or the contrast color would look really, really, really beautiful in this motif as well. But yeah, it was, again, I'm trying to use up scraps. And this contrast color was one that I had just finished using. So I was like, oh, it's right in my face. Let me, let me just keep using it. Yeah, I think this is like one of my first color work hats. And I was surprised how quickly I knit this up. Yeah, I think it was just an addicting pattern. It was also like a quick turnaround. I think it was like 2 weeks, which is, you know, pretty easy to do a hat in that amount of time. But yeah, I think I knit this up in like 2 nights, which I was surprised at, but yeah, I really, really love it. It's super cozy. It's kind of nice that it's all over color work. You can see my floats there, because it has kind of like a double layer. So nice and cozy. My last garment of the year, I decided that I wanted to do the Knit Collage fall knit along, which is like a 6-week knit along that they host every fall. I think they have a spring one as well. I don't know if they have a summer one. I think it's just a spring and a fall. But when I got back into knitting about 4 years ago, a Knit Collage Cal was kind of my like reintroduction to knitting. It was the first time I actually like made a sweater. was through their knit along. So I kept kind of like seeing it on my feed, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna do it. I have a lot of their yarn in stash. It's not yarn that I like wear a ton, honestly. I think I would use it more for like accessories than anything, but I really loved making this sweater, and she's big and she's thick. So even if it's like a 40-degree day, 30-degree day, I can wear just this sweater without a coat and I am toasty. So this is the With the Band sweater by Jen Geigley. It's a really like basic striped raglan sweater. Oh, it's so pretty. I love the colors. This was really, really, really fun to make. I used all Knit Collage yarns. I used 3 of their Spun Cloud colors. So this is, wait, let me pull it up. This is the color Creme Brulee. This white is French Vanilla. And then the really pretty orange is Joy Bomb Orange. And then this pretty like orangey color stripe and with the off-white is their Daisy Chain yarn in the color Papaya. So these little micro stripes were an addition that I did. The pattern is actually just like these like bigger stripes, but like I said, I have a bit of it in my stash, and so I wanted to try and use a little bit more of it up. So I saw that I had like these mini skeins of these extra colors of the Daisy Chain and the Joy Bomb Orange. And I was like, okay, well, I'm using neutrals, so let me add like a little pop of something. And I love it. This is one, I think I knit like most of the body in like a week, and then I put it down for a bit. I started this on November 2nd. I think it was at the same time where I was finishing up the Avenue pullover. And so I started it and I was like, I gotta finish my test knit before I dive deep into this. So I put this down for a bit. But it's so satisfying because you're knitting this on US 17 needles. Like it knits up like this. So it's, you know, it's really satisfying because you're like, wow, I am just making so much progress on this. So it's really, really hard to put down because it's really gratifying to see like how quickly a piece knits up. But I did have to put it down. I did have some self-control and made sure to like reprioritize my knitting time, and picked this up probably back in like early December, and finished it like the last week of the knit along. So I finished this on December 17th. So this was my Christmas Eve sweater, which was really nice. It was pretty cool that day. I think it was like in the 30s. And again, this was like all I wore. I think my mom thought I was crazy because she's like, you don't have a jacket? I was like, nope, this is plenty toasty. But yeah, I really, really love this. I did like the mock neck, neck version. And it's also really satisfying because the stripes on the body and the arm like line up perfectly. I don't know if you can see that. So I was pretty happy about that. I was thinking that the arms were gonna be like a little bit longer than the body, but no, it worked out. So yeah, that is my last finished garment. Then my last finished object of the year, I do not have with me because it was a gift knit for my nephew. He's almost 2. I knew that I wanted to make him something for Christmas for this year. And I was looking through my stash and brought a few skeins of yarn with me over to my parents. We were all going over for dinner. And I was like, I'll let him pick which color yarn he wants. So I went over, I put all the colors out, and he picked green, which was really, really pretty. I'll put a picture up of the hat. But he picked this really pretty green Miss Babs yarn that I had in my stash for, I don't know, a year or two. And it's their Avon yarn, which I think is like wool and silk. So it was super, super soft. And I made the watch cap pattern, which is a free pattern from Purl Soho. And I finished this. It took me like a week, which it shouldn't have taken me that long. It's like a hat for a toddler. But you know, I was just like working on lots of other projects at the time. And yeah, it looks really cute on him. He was very excited. I was like, I'm gonna make you a hat. He goes, hat. And he was excited, I think, to pick the color out. I don't know if he remembered picking the color, but I remember it and I thought it was adorable. So yeah, so that was fun to give that to him for Christmas. Wow, okay, that's everything that I knit up this year, which again, definitely less than I have made in previous years, but I'm still feeling like very accomplished as I like look around at all of the pieces around me now. I feel really good about what I've accomplished. I made 4 garments, 4 hats, a scarf. That feels pretty good. And one of the garments was like a long-standing whip. So to get that off the needles feels really good. So let me jump into a few projects that I'm currently working on. Let me grab them. All right, I'm back. A few projects that I'm currently working on. So another one of my goals for, I guess for this year and going into next year is to really work down my pile of whips. I have probably like 2 baskets in my bedroom of just a whip graveyard, if you will. For whatever reason, like started them, put them down, got distracted by whatever, like the latest pattern or something else. But it's all, I think for the most part, like all stuff that I like really, really want to have and to finish. So one of those patterns is this Lume pullover by Sari Nordlund. Really, really beautiful. I had, you know, grand dreams of this being my Christmas sweater this year. I don't know why I thought that would that would happen. But man, it is really, really pretty. I cannot wait for this to be off the needles and to wear it. This is one that, again, she's very, very thick. I'm using Biche et Bouche yarn, their Mohair, and then their like fingering weight petite lamb's wool yarn, and holding those together throughout. So it's very woolly, very, very warm, and the color work part is like double, you know, double knit, so extra, extra warm around the chest. And this is one of the ones that I've been kind of like focused on. I'm just, you can see, working through the body. I would love to finish this to be able to like wear it this winter, as we're about to get into like deep winter, like January, February. It's usually colder. I would love to be able to enjoy it this winter. So I am hoping that that is the case. It's a few days after Christmas right now, and I am very thankful to have time off until the new year. I'm not going back to work until the 2nd. So lots of knitting time is planned over the next few days, and you know, a little bit of journaling and planning and all that stuff, but lots of time to knit. So I'm really hoping I can make a good chunk, a good dent on this because I just love it. Part of, I think, why it takes me so long, or it has taken me so long to get this off the needles is because I would literally stop every few rows and just stare at it because the motif is just beautiful. I love the yarn. I love how it looks together. Even like when I'm knitting on the body, I get so distracted because I'm just like, wow, this is so pretty. But yeah, that is one of my whips that I think I started this last spring or something like that. And then again, got distracted by something else and put it away. But I've been making some pretty good progress on it this fall and winter. So feeling really good about that. Hi, Luna. My little Australian shepherd has come to visit. She's gonna come say hi. Hi, Mama. You gonna join me for a little bit? Thank you. We just got a bunch of snow. We got, I don't know, we were supposed to get like 8 or 9 inches. We got maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6, which is still a lot of snow. We have not gotten that much snow in northern New Jersey in like a few years, but Luna loves the snow. So we just, we came in from a walk earlier and she did not want to come back inside. She was so happy running around in the snow. So she just took a little nap, but now she's back. Yeah, so she might be a little demanding of attention, but that's okay. We're wrapping up. All right, my next project, which is one of my whips that I started last year and again put down for no reason at all. This is the DRK, oh gosh, it's so wrinkly, sorry. DRK Everyday Sweater by Andrea Mowry. This is also knit up in the Juniper Moon or Patagonia Organic Merino, which is the same yarn I used for my Ooey Gooey sweater this year, but this is in the colorway Mahogany. And it's just like that really pretty, like chocolatey brown with kind of like some specks of red in it as well. There's some red in there, some green, a little bit of yellow in there too. It's really, really pretty color. And this chocolatey brown color, you know, it's very, very popular right now. So I've been little by little making progress on this. I'm on the sleeves right now, doing decreases. I finished the body a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, this is another one that I'm kind of going between this, the Lume, and then the next pattern that I'll show you all. But I feel very motivated to continue working through my whips to like get stuff off the needles. And they're all projects that I was, you know, really excited about at some point. And it's kind of nice to revisit them and be like, oh yeah, this is something that I really, really want. So, you know, let me focus on it for a little bit and hopefully finish it. Yeah. Next object that I'm focused on it's a test knit. So this is going to be my priority, you know, for the next month. It's due in exactly a month, like January 26th. This is a test knit for Rebecca Clow, who's the Crea Bea. She's got a podcast, very popular podcast on YouTube as well. This is the Ariandel sweater. Really pretty cable, 1x1 cable yoke. And then it's just, I'm like almost done with this cable section. I'm doing a few raglan increases, kind of like they'll be like in the underarm. And then it's just stockinette. So I'm using Farmer's Daughter Fiber Craggy Tweed. Don't remember the colorway, I'll put it up. And yeah, I wasn't sure about using like a tweedy yarn for a cable, but I really like how it's coming out. But yeah, I'm excited to wrap up the raglan increases that I have left and just be on stockinette for the rest of the time. And then I think there's a little bit of the cabling at like the cuff of the arm. So this is definitely my priority knit for the next few weeks. As much as I want to like work on like my Lume or my DRK, this is going to be my priority for sure. I should talk about the project bags too. This one is one, gosh, I don't remember the vendor. Oh, here it is. Salulu, handmade. This is a beautiful bag. I love this cobalt blue, Harris tweed, and then the inside is this really fun fabric from a Wool and Affair. They had like custom fabric made for the event during Rhinebeck weekend. And yeah, this maker made these awesome handbags and used some of the fabric with the logo on it. So I was able to snag one of these up at the event. Loved that. This one is like Christmas project bag from Puff Stitch. I believe they have an Etsy shop. But yeah, I just thought it was so cute. I love kind of like, I don't know, the cute little like stamps. I love the colors. This like caramelly color is like one of my favorites. As you've seen, I have, you know, a hat and a finished garment in it. And then my other project bag that is housing my Lume is one of these amazing bags from Black Pearl Magic. I think I picked this up at Cake Palooza probably last Rhinebeck, 2 Rhinebecks ago, because I did not get to go last year. And this is like perfect for a big chunky sweater. And it's got a cute little like snowflake charm on there, so it felt appropriate to use for the winter. I think that's all I've got for now. My whips are also like my priorities, like what I'm working on right now, what I hope to be working on. I gotta do my whip down. That's my priority, I think, for next year. Of course, I'm gonna start new things, new projects. I have been dreaming up a cloud bow sweater. I've got yarn set aside for that, but I'm holding myself accountable and saying I would like to get these 3 things off of my needles before I even start my cloud bow. But again, that's something I'll probably start but won't really get to enjoy wearing it until fall or winter of next year, which is fine. I'm sorry if you hear someone chewing on a bone in the background right now. She's having a good old time. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to posting a bit more regularly. I'm still gonna find my cadence. I think my hope is to post once a week, maybe every other week. I'll figure out a cadence. Thanks so much for being here. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.